All right, let's get into a dynamic that is just so confusing and, honestly, so painful. It can really feel like this incredibly intense love, but when you look underneath, it's something else entirely. We're going to talk about the hope dealer and the whole cycle of toxic love. Wow, this just hits right at the heart of it, doesn't it? It's that feeling, that desperation you have just waiting for a tiny payout of affection that, might never even come. That's not love. That's a gamble. And that feeling of being hooked, oh, it is very, very real. So, why does it feel so absolutely impossible to just walk away? Well, the answer is actually wired right into our brains. Let's really dig into this idea of the toxic slot machine. I want you to just picture this. Every time you interact with them, you're pulling the lever on this machine. And, sometimes you get a little something, a kind word, maybe a moment of peace, a little flash of the person you thought they were. But most of the time, you get nothing. It's that complete unpredictability, the intermittent reward, that keeps you standing right there, pulling that lever over and over and over again. And you know what? There's actual brain science behind this whole thing. It's a dopamine addiction. Your brain gets a much bigger hit of that feel-good chemical from a reward that's unpredictable than from one that's consistent. This is literally the neurochemical engine that drives gambling, and it's the exact same hook that keeps you tethered to a chaotic relationship. Okay, so if you're the one playing the slot machine, who's running the game? Well, this brings us to a really important concept, the hope dealer. Let's break down how this game actually works. See, the hope dealer is the person controlling the machine. They are absolute masters of giving you just enough, but never too much. They'll give you these tiny doses of hope, just enough of what you're starving for, to make you believe that if you just play one more round, you're going to hit the jackpot. But the thing is, the jackpot is never coming. And living inside this game, it feels like you're constantly on edge. You're always trying to guess their mood, choosing every single word so carefully, doing anything and everything to avoid setting them off. This isn't peace. It's a constant state of high alert, fight or flight anxiety. And this is another one of their key tactics, gaslighting. Your reality gets questioned so often, so consistently, that you actually start to doubt yourself. You hear things like, "Are you sure that even happened?" Or, "You're just being way too sensitive." And over time, you find yourself lost in this gallery of distorted self-portraits, not even trusting your own mind anymore. This is a process called identity erosion, where your very sense of who you are just gets worn away. So this mix of hope and fear creates this incredibly powerful psychological chain. And it's not love that's keeping you there. It's something way, way more complicated. This is how the whole dynamic builds into what we call a trauma bond. A trauma bond is this deep attachment that's forged in pure intensity. It's built from the absolute highest highs and the lowest, most crushing lows. The chain holding you isn't made of love at all. It's made of that powerful, addictive mix of fearing the bad times and desperately, desperately hoping for the good times to come back. And all of this leads to this constant war inside your own head. It's like a hostage negotiation with yourself. You've got one part of you just screaming, "Get out, run for your life." But then there's this other part, the part that's bonded and hooked on all that hope, and it starts to negotiate. It whispers, "But maybe this time it'll be different. Remember that one good day we had?" And here's that conflict, just laid out bare. On one side, you have all the hope, the promises they made, the potential you think you see. And on the other side, you have the painful, repeating, predictable reality of the cycle. When you live in that gap between the hope and the reality for too long, you start to lose your footing. You forget who you are. That is identity erosion. Okay, after all of that chaos and intensity, let's totally shift gears. Let's talk about the antidote. What does safety, what does a real, genuine connection actually feel like? I think the answer might surprise you. So really, after your brain has been trained to think that drama equals passion, what should you even be looking for? What does a healthy, secure, real love truly feel like in your body? It should feel like a deep, long exhale. Your nervous system, which has been stuck in fight or flight mode for so long, can finally just relax. It can yawn. That feeling of relief, of being able to finally let your guard down, maybe for the first time in years. That right there, that's the feeling of safety. This means we have to completely reframe our idea of what love is. Healthy love is predictable. It's calm. It's safe. It's consistent. And yeah, to a nervous system that's been addicted to chaos, all of that might sound, well, boring. But in this context, boring is really just another word for peace. It's the stability that finally gives you the space to grow. And so that leaves us with this final, really important question to ask yourself. Are you spending all your time and energy at a slot machine, just hoping for a jackpot that is never going to come? Or are you resting in a safe harbor? Because knowing the difference between the two, that's the first step to choosing peace over chaos.